enthusiast on resale homes. I personally believe that resale condos are the best in Singapore. And of course, if anybody want to invest in real estate, whether it's your own stay or for additional investment, you must go for resale properties. Allow me to share my argument for tonight, because these are the main points that I have. In fact, if you can see just by the arrows itself, there are already so many hidden benefits of resale condominium properties. A very quick glimpse of what I'm going to share today in my opening statement is that this is one of the most important factors. Have a look at this. See, feel, touch, smell, and hear. Resale properties allows you to do that, which new launch condos do not have the benefit of giving you that, because you'll be able to see the actual physical property. Second point, of course, is that you can have the option to hunt for renovated homes. There are so many homes out there in the market that the existing owner has already put in their investment, whether it's 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 to renovate their homes. And when you purchase the homes from a resale market, you can buy over the home that has been renovated, thereby saving you a lot of costs. You also have immediate rental income, which is very important. You also have a chance to look at the disparity effect on price differences between resale properties and new launch properties. You also have en-bloc potential, which is what a lot of families are hunting for. Either you're hunting for a freehold land plot, which is perhaps like 20, 30, 40 years old already, and is coming to a stage that there's talks about en-bloc. And of course, if en-bloc does happen, that's going to be a windfall for you. You also have choices for ultimate kind of like layouts. There are so many beautiful penthouses, ground floor units, single floor plate, duplexes, triplexes. There are unique layouts, and of course, everybody wants resale condos because the room sizes are fantastic. You're going to have so much more space compared to new launch homes where the bedrooms are so small nowadays. And trifecta is something I'm going to talk about later on in an in-depth fashion, because quantum play and PSF play is one of the key benefits of hunting for the right property without overpaying. And you have a lot of choices. I mean, year in, year out, there's only like 40 over new launches in the market in terms of the number of projects, but you can choose from all resale projects in Singapore. I mean, just have a look at how many choices there are. So, what else? The price that you negotiate with the current seller, as well as the terms and conditions for the completion period, option exercise fee, is totally negotiable. It's a willing buyer, willing seller. You can discuss. However, if you go to a new launch project, nothing is negotiable. All right, the price are fixed, terms are fixed. I mean, what can you negotiate with the developer? And you can move in immediately, which means that you don't have to pay rental, you don't have to move twice, you don't have to even think about packing, moving, having the logistics, renting, and then doing a double move. I mean, just take a look at how much time you're going to invest and relocating your kids to their schools and transport arrangement and all that kind of stuff, which is why I personally believe resale condominiums are the best for any families in Singapore, whether is it for investment, which you can earn rental income immediately, or whether is it for your own family stay. And I'm going to touch on the first topic, which is see, feel, touch, smell, and hear. So, this is one of the most important reasons that you want to own a resale property, because you can see the property, you can feel the property. I mean, most of the time when we purchase a property, we are both analytical and we are both emotional, in the sense that once we walk into the property, there has been research done, is that the first 8 seconds when you walk into a physical home, you sort of already intuitively know in yourself, I mean, you feel in your gut that you roughly have a sense whether is this home giving you a good feeling or not. We want to feel the home, we want to see the actual unit, and we want to be able to experience the emotions once we walk in. And then, of course, after that, we'll do our analysis on valuation, we'll do our analysis on transactions, and we'll start the negotiation process. We want to be able to touch the materials as well. I mean, like, want to know what we're actually buying. I mean, if there's renovation or no renovation, or maybe the renovation has already been dated a little bit, we want to see what can we preserve, what can we reuse, what do we need to tear and hack down so that we can then re-renovate, or we can revamp a little bit. I want to see the condition of the wall. Are there crack lines? I want to see, are they leaking? I want to see the floor condition. I want to assess how much I need to value at, which is why we want to touch as well. Of course, I'm not saying that when you go for viewings, you need to open up all the wardrobes of the existing homeowners. Please don't do that. If you really want to see internally all the drawers, please ask for permission. But what I'm saying is that at least you can see and touch on the surface. You can ask for permission to check the existing materials before you make an offer. And this is, of course, very fair for potential buyer. You can smell. In fact, you're wondering, hey, Melvin, why are you talking about smell? I mean, like, what do you want to smell? Do you want to smell the home of the existing owner? Now, this is such an important overlooked feature because some of the stacks of condominiums, especially in homes, you will only be able to assess the smell once you go into a physical unit, and which you can't do that in a new launch condo. You can only predict. For example, if your stack is facing towards a road, you want to smell in terms of the dust level. If it's facing towards the expressway, if it's facing towards a potential rubbish chute, if it's facing towards a rubbish chute of a potential development opposite you, you want to be able to see if there's any concern or smell coming into your unit, which is so important. And if you buy a new launch, you can only look at the site model. You can only look at the 3D. You cannot even experience it, right? And you want to hear the noise level. You want to be able to hear, is the road noise detrimental? Because just imagine staying at home after you collected keys to a new launch, you don't even have a level of expectation of the expressway facing, the road noise facing. And you want to be able to hear what is the noise decibel level. And this is so important because buying a property is no small decision. You're going to stay there for a minimum of 3, 4, 5 years. And this few aspects are so important for our decision making. And which is why you can see the actual facing, noise level. You can also see who are your neighbors. You can talk to the existing seller, or maybe if you happen to see neighbors coming out, you can just ask them, hey, how is this project? How do you find staying here? You can assess the demographics of the projects. Are there a lot of children? Are there a lot of old folks? You can roughly get a sense of that. And most importantly, sun direction. Are there west sun facing, wind direction, smell from external rubbish collection truck and stuff like that. These are so important points. Just have a look at this article. This is an article. Of course, this is a HDB property, but it drove 6 families out of their home from this Punggol HDB block. And of course, it's because of one, as per this article, neighbor from hell. And Yishun Condo residents are a little bit concerned because the project opposite them that is constructing situated the rubbish chute, the bin center, which is very near to some of the stacks. And originally, when they bought it, it was facing an open field. But after this new project was constructed, it's going to face towards that direction. And you can only experience that if you purchase a resale condo. I mean, how can you experience that when you go for a new launch development, right? And moving on to the second point. Second point is one of the most cost-saving point. And when you go into the market, it really depends what you're hunting for. Some of you, I know, you want to buy properties that are not renovated at a very good entry price so that you can pump in your own renovation because you already know what you want. You already have your own mood board for design, for renovation. There's a goal that you want. But a lot of families, because they want to save time, they want to save costs, and renovation is all hard cash. All your hard cash savings. Of course, you can take a renovation loan and stuff like that, but it's still cash. And when you go into the market, you have this beautiful option, which is you can hunt specifically for renovated homes. And most of the time, when you look at renovated homes versus non-renovated home, unless that renovated home is renovated to a huge luxury extent, but you will still be able to get good deals in the market. And you can get different varying conditions. Renovated homes that has been renovated last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or maybe just the last 3 years. And you can determine based on what you see, touch, and feel, whether is it worth for you to go in and make an offer. But most importantly, after you purchase it, the amount of cost that you need to spend to do a little bit of touch-up, repainting is minute. So that's going to save you so much cost from your own renovation. And sometimes you can even negotiate for the existing seller to throw in some furniture. If you like the furniture and the seller has no intent to move it to the new home, you can ask them whether can you live behind the curtains or the blinds. And all these things are beautiful things that you can discuss. So you have a chance to own, of course, renovated properties without sparing the 2, 3, 4 months to do gut renovation, to do renovation. Even for new launch, even though I know later the other team is going to say that, hey, you know, new launch, you don't have to do much renovation. The wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, bathrooms, floorings are all done, aircon is done, but you still have to do a little bit of renovation here and there, your blinds, lights, and stuff like that. Later we'll come to that. But most importantly, sometimes you can get beautifully done at home with wall features, with cove lights, with a lot of things that is planted into the property already. You can also, of course, negotiate. This is negotiation in terms of furniture, and most importantly, timeline, which later I'll talk to you about it in terms of timeline. Let me move on to the third point. Third point is the beauty. Why is it a beauty? Because you have immediate rental income. For those of you who are hunting for a second property, let's say you have two names, husband and wife. First name is already determined based on your own stay needs, and then now you're ready to come into the market to hunt for the second property. You can get immediate rental income. Because why? This is a resale property. After 8 to 12 weeks of completion, you can just rent out the unit immediately for rental income. Have a look at how much savings that you are having. Because the moment you rent out, just imagine if you were to purchase a $2 million property from the resale market. And of course, $2 million, you can still get a lot of choices in the resale market today. 3% interest rate, 30 years loan tenure, 75%, 1.5 mil loan. Let's say your installment is $6,324. And let me just have a very conservative rental income. Let's say you just rent out for $5,000, unfurnished. All right, you rent out for $5,000, even though you see that, hey, I cannot cover my full installment, but behind the scenes, the hidden engine is that the tenant is paying all the interest for you. So your installment at 6,324 is split out into two portions, P plus I, principal plus interest. The interest of 3,750 is fully paid by the tenants, $5,000. The balance 1,250 goes to contribute towards your principal. And what you need to top up in terms of another $1,300 over dollars or $1,400 is going towards your principal asset, which will come back to you when you do an equity term loan, when you sell the property in future. Because what's most important is that the cost of the loan is in the interest, which the tenant has already paid for you. And that is the beauty of buying a resale property. So you can't do that for a new launch property. Why? I think new launch condos are the best because they are indeed the best. They're the best form of investments. They're the best form of properties for own stay. And why would anyone wants to buy an old resale property? New launch are the best. New launch, you get everything brand new. And in fact, I also have, and please don't say that I've copied your slides because I also love black background with white fonts. I love this same fonts that you're using. And I would say that you're actually the one that copied me. In fact, I also have a lot of reasons why I think new launch condos are the best form of investments for own stay or future upside appreciation. Let's have a look at some of the factors that I have. TOP effect. I'm going to talk about that later. There's no COV involved. There's no cash overvaluation. You have one more exit audience that resale properties don't have. Resale properties, who are your exit audience? When you want to sell in future, 3, 5, 8 years later, you can only sell to people that want to buy resale old condos. But if you buy a new launch project, you have one additional audience that you can sell to, which are people who only want to buy homes that nobody has lived in before, with no history. And I'm going to talk about that later. These homes are popular with tenants. Just have a look. When a project TOP and completes, it's so fresh, brand new. Facilities are beautiful, state-of-the-art technology, smart homes, architecture features, new facilities with like a reading room, bowling alleys. There's like so many different beautiful function rooms, spa, saunas, and stuff like that. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of tenants, they're hunting for homes that just has been completed. And it's so easy to rent out. You have new design, new architecture, new facilities. Rental costs is extremely low. Why? Because developers has already done almost everything for you. Brand new kitchen, brand new appliances. Nowadays, developers are giving hoop hop oven, microwave. They're giving you washer cum dryer, bigger units, washer, split dryer, bathroom fittings. Hans Grohe, you talk about all these kind of European brands, most of the developers are already giving. And of course, all these are brand new. Nobody has used it before. And you're going to get everything in the tip-top condition. And that's going to keep your renovation cost very low because all you need to do is just put in the lights and blinds. I mean, how much can they cost? progressive payment. This is a hidden engine. I'm going to dive in on that. And of course, your seller stamp duty is just nice. By the time you collect your keys, you already clear a seller stamp duty. Just imagine your resale condo. What if you purchase and you regret 2 months later after you move in? You realize that, hey, oh my goodness, this is not something that I want. My neighbors are not very kind. People upstairs are knocking down, stomping their feet every day. And then you want to sell, you cannot, you're stuck. You're stuck for 3 years because you have not cleared your seller stamp duty. But this, if you buy a new launch condo and you move in, and you start to realize that this is not something that you want, what is going to happen? You can sell it because you already cleared your seller stamp duty. Isn't it a beauty? And that's what we call the blackout period. New lease of 99 years. The most beautiful point here. Of course, I didn't copy his word. I also like to use the word beautiful. And 1 year delayed installment. And of course, defect warranty. This is fantastic. Anything that happens, you can call the developer. You have 1 year defect warranty to fix your defects. BSD from CPF directly. In fact, a lot of home buyers, they don't know this hidden advantage and benefit. And that's such a huge advantage. And you have this fantastic advantage as well, is that you have this first mover advantage. And there's also a chance that the developer, while they are selling their property in different phases, they can help you to make multiple rounds of free appreciation. Free appreciation. So let's dive in. All right, so let's move on to the first point, and this is what we call the TOP effect. In fact, this is the best point that I love about new launch condos. It's a one-off owner's alignment, and you only get this for new launch condos. You don't get this in resale. Later, I'll come to that. It's actually my hidden point in my rebuttal, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. This is an existing case study, and of course, all the owners right here, they're so happy that they bought this property during launch, or whether in the mid phase of launch, even in the last phase of launch, it doesn't matter. All of them are sitting on such healthy profits. Look at the green color PSF gain that they've already made. From the launch, those first owners that belongs here in 1819, they bought around the range of 1,600, 1,700 PSF. They've already made $500 per square foot when it TOPs in 2022. And when it TOP, you already see all these transactions happening. They've already cashed out and moved on to buy their landed homes or maybe bigger properties. And even if they held on to it, look at how much it has already appreciated. $2,300 per square foot right now in some of the most recent transactions. That is what we call a TOP effect, which happens right here. Why is it an alignment? It's because everybody that bought 1,600, 1,700, 1,800, they will never sell back at the same price that they bought because they have already waited for 4 years to collect their keys, and they will happily stay there. And they will only exit if there's a decent price being offered to them. Because just imagine, if you collect your keys here, you bought at 1,600, 1,700, you are there happily at a pool, and a property agent comes to you and says, Mr. Owner, congratulations on taking your keys to Sterling Residence. I know you bought in 2018. Now it's the year 2022. You collected your keys already. I have a buyer that wants to buy your 3-bedder, and they want to offer you $1,700 PSF. What's going to happen? I think you're going to explode immediately because it's like, hey, are you okay? I bought at 1,700. You want me to sell at 1,700? Are you in your right mind? I wouldn't sell at that price. I would stay or I would rent out. There's no need for me to sell. If you want to sell, bring me a check of 2,001. That's what's going to happen. And guess what? Not only will you say that, everyone else that bought together with you is going to repeat that statement. It's a one-off alignment that you don't need to hold a board meeting with all the owners of Sterling Residences to say, hey, let's agree to sell at 2001. You don't have to do that. Everybody wants to sell at a certain appreciation. If not, they will just live in it. They will not sell. They will just hold on to it. They will rent out. They will happily just live there. And there's no need for them to sell, technically speaking. Right? So this is actually what we call a one-off alignment. And even if they held on to it, it has continued to perform very well because they managed to ride on certain trenches of the bull market that happened back then. And of course, Florence Residences is another case study. If you look at this, they went in at about 1,400, 1,500. When TOP is about 1,700, today is about 1,800 plus. This is a similar alignment that all the owners have. This is the price that they are willing to let go. And of course, when they let go, what happened is that this then formed the new benchmark valuation. So this is like a one-off upgrade of your appreciation, a one-off upgrade of a valuation, and TOP effect so powerful. Let's have a look at riverfront residences. Similarly, during launch, it's about 1,003, 1,004. During TOP, it's about 1,005 to 1,006. And today, it's about 1,008. And this alignment comes because they have the first mover advantage and they went in during the launch. And that's the beauty of new launch condos. Let's have a look at a second point. No COV. What do I mean by this? Basically, when you look at this key point is that you don't have to worry about topping up additional cash. Because when you go for resale properties, you have to check the bank valuation. Let me talk about this. For example, if you go to a resale market and let's say if you saw a property, $2.5 million. In your mind, the calculation as a home buyer is that you already know you have to come with 5% cash, which is 125,000, 20% CPF 500,000, 75% loan 1.875 million. But take note, when you call your banker and say, hey, I want to make an offer for this $2.5 million resale property, and what's going to happen is that if let's say you didn't do that check and you are so emotional and you like this property so much, you immediately put down a 1% option fee to the seller and realize to your horrific truth that after you put in the option fee, the banker tell you that, hey, I couldn't match the valuation. That seller is asking for too high. And then you call a second banker at a different bank. You call a third banker. And everybody come back with valuation that is below $2.5 million. And let's say the max is 2.2. What's going to happen is that you need to top up $300,000 cash. And that is what will be the key difference. Because if you go for a new launch condo, you go into a developer show flat, the valuation will match. And this is basically the amount of cash that you have to come up with, which is $125,000. If you go for a resale property and you couldn't get a match on the asking price that can close the deal with the seller, and you went ahead and go ahead of it, what's going to happen is that you can only loan 75% of that $2.2 million valuation. You need to pay 5%, 20% CPF on that $2.2 million valuation, but the difference between the transacted price and your valuation is in hard cash. And end up, you're going to fork out $410,000 for cash, which you could have used that additional cash for your renovation. So this is the key difference. And this is what we call having that safety kind of peace of mind that when you buy a new launch condo, you don't have to worry about all these valuation things, right? So how about this third exit audience? This is one of my favorites because if you follow the school of thought of the resale camp, they only have one group of buyers. I mean, like, after you buy a condo, if you want to exit in future, you can only sell to one group of people. But if you buy a new launch, because you're somebody that knows value, like myself. When you want to sell the property 3-4 years later, when you collect the keys, you can sell also to resale condos. You can actually snatch the buyers from them. But you have one additional group of buyers, which are buyers that are very specific. They are called TOP subsale buyers. They only want brand new homes. They do not want homes that people live in before. They want brand new properties. But they also don't want to wait. They do not want to go into a show flat and wait 3-4 years. They want to go to the TOP market and hunt for those projects that owner just collected their keys. And they are okay to be the second buyer. They are okay to pay that price. They just don't want to wait. And they don't want something that is in the resale condo market that people live in before. So you have this audience plus this audience, which is a bonus for you, which means that when you want to exit, you have a higher and better chance to exit at the price that you want.